All right, today, guys, we are going to work on like the fifth step in this process, and we're going to start sculpting small details. Now, granted, I want you to think about where this mask was at the last video. Okay, mouth was shut. I actually added on some clay here. I've sculpted some of the brow ridge off. I've chopped the ears off at least once. And now that I'm looking at it like this, I'm frustrated beyond all belief that this one is smaller than this one. This one's slightly bigger. And I always like the left one better. So I don't know, I might just add on a little clay to extend it out just a smidge. I don't even know what to say. I've done it twice. It's like sucking the life out of me. Okay, so what I'm going to start now is, and when I did this right here, literally the mouth was shut. And I wanted him to look like he was roaring more. So I literally stuck my fingers in there and I pulled, okay? So I literally just pulled the clay, and I had enough clay there to where it totally worked just fine. All right, so I'm gonna start working on those fine-tuning details, which is I'm gonna place the eyes. I'm gonna work on, all of those. I'm gonna put some of these, like, I found some, I like kind of some of this stuff in here. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna use to create those perfect triangles. I prefer to stamp it, but I don't know. I need to find a nice triangle. So I'm gonna have to look for that. That's not a today thing. That's a later thing. And I'll show you pictures and whatnot. But as of right now, I gotta figure something out for that. Because I really don't want to carve each and every one of them. I may end up, and actually if I do it, I may end up, I might have to do that. I don't know, we'll see. But these are, so I started, you remember correctly, I started with like this right here. But I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna use some of these details as like elements of it, okay? All right, so, but I have him started. Now, I'm gonna zoom in just a smidge. I don't wanna zoom in too much so, you can still see it and everything. Now I'm gonna just take my tools and I'm just gonna start playing, okay? And this process right here, guys, this is gonna take you a long time. This is not a one and done thing. It literally is going to take a couple of days, maybe 3, 4, 5. I don't know. So my video is going to be this right here where I'm starting. And unfortunately, I don't have the ability to cut and paste and all this, that, and the other. Maybe someday I'll become that technologically savvy. But as of today, I'm not there. And I'm not going to lie. I'm just trying to survive this school year. So I've got my little tools here. I'm going to pull some out. And I'm just gonna start playing. And that's all I want you to do. I want you to play, experiment. Like I've done the ears twice, guys. Twice, okay? Not much fun. It was a little frustrating, but it is what it is. And I did it, and it's fine. And I'm going to actually adjust it some more. I really don't like it still. And in ceramics, I try not to be too much of a perfectionist because, well, when you become that person, well, then it really starts sucking. And I don't want it to really suck. So, right now, it doesn't need to be perfect. Because I'm going to go back through in the end and I'm going to adjust. Okay. But I want to come through and start getting some of these things, like I've got come through like this. I'm putting my bits and pieces in. I'm smoothing things down, and they're all subtle things, okay? They're not anything that's like, holy smokes, like earth shaking, but it's the process, guys. It's the process of going through, tidying up your bits and pieces, and I'm going to come through and I'm going to make some teeth and whatnot, and I got to do this right here. So I want this to have that same effect right here. So, I'm just going to come through, knock down some of the messiness, okay? So I don't know if you can see that, but here we go. So like I cleaned up, he slides away, bunch of that, okay? And it's not done. No, it's not done. And I want to make some teeth in here. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to use like something like this. It's, and I'm going to come through. And I will tell you, I have struggled not to work on this when I'm not recording, because it's so easy to just like in class, to just go through and start, grabbing and working on things. Okay, so that's a little better. So I've got some teeth started here. And I'm going to eventually cut those out. Okay, oops, you see that? So I've got, it's sort of started, and I'm going to literally, come through, smooth some things out. It'll be fine. Wrong one. That's wrong tool. Tools are great. I'm going to suggest if you're in class, you know, go through and look and see what kind of tools I have, all right? Because if you're just using one tool, chances are it's going to look kind of basic. Well, that stinks, right? Basic. Nobody likes a basic person. We've had this discussion on several occasions, or at least my discussion at you. Maybe not with you, but at you, okay? And I'm going to come through and I'm going to do some teeth right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just do 4 on the bottom. And I'm going to literally, once it gets a little firmer, because right now it's still pretty soft. I'm at a soft leather hard. I want to get a little bit further along in that whole thing to come through. And I'm literally just going to cut, and knock it out. So there's going to be teeth there. And then I'll have to like play with them, make them look, you know, right there. Little tooth. See, look right there. Little tooth. I cut it out. And I'll have to come through and create the gum line and everything, but that's for another time. Okay, so I'm going to hold this like this. I'm going to come through and I am going to just indent. I want to get my eyes placed. Symmetry, if you're someone that is like, I try really hard not to be too obsessive about that kind of stuff because it is ceramics. And sometimes, you know, you try your best and it's just not exactly the same. 3% of the population, guys, 3% of our population is 100% symmetrical. The rest of us are just varying degrees of messed up looking, okay? And that's normal, all right? So if your eye's off by a smidge, it's okay. Most of the populations is off too. No, my thingy is ripping. That's not good. I left it on too long. Ding dong. Okay, so we want an eyeball in between, so about there. Let's see right here. He might look a little weird by the time I'm done with him. Okay, and then I can look and see stuff on here. Put that off. There we go. Okay, so there's one eye. I think it needs to go over just a smidge. Just a smidge. Go like this. Does that look even? Relatively even? I think it needs to go up just a tiny bit too, potentially. But yep, I'm going to bring it up just a smidge. Try that. I'm going to call that good enough, people. Like this. Okay. So hopefully my eyes are good enough because my paper is thoroughly saturated and it doesn't like me moving it anymore, which is unfortunate as well. I like the shape of the eye. It's going to have to be good enough. My eyes are where they're going to be, and they're the shape that they're going to be. Okay, so there's that. Is he symmetrical? Oh, 100%? No, he's not. He is not. And it's got to be okay because I can't mess. Okay, I'm going to change the ears just a smidgen a little bit. That'll be off camera. Okay, so we've got that like that. Now I need to come through, and I almost think that my dental floss might be the best way to come through and create my lines. Let's see if this works. Oh, I can see it. Nice. You can't see it, but I can. Come through with a nice, well, relatively nice straight line. Apparently I can do it better with a piece of dental floss. Close enough. Oh, I should probably wipe out the ones that I don't want. And I do have a slight ridge right there, which is fine. Okay, I'm going to do the other one Actually, I am going to just kind of get rid of that line right now. Yeah, might make it a little bit easier to do. Piece of yarn might work good too. Well, yarn might be too big. And then I can see that line. It's relatively straight there, not too bad. I'll just get another line in. Actually, that works better than the last thing I just did too. Because I'm going to do a lot of carving in here. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm going to have some other bits and pieces, but that's good enough now. Okay, so I'm just going to literally come through and just start carving because I want him to have kind of like a crinkled nose a little bit. So he's like, until he's snarling some. So I'm going to do a few little lines right here. Yeah, I might be a little aggressive on the top, but that's okay. Through smoothing things out eventually. Right there. Okay. It's a little, it's a smidge. I kind of wish it was over just a tiny bit. Just off by just a smidge. Okay. All right. So I've got things mapped out. I want to start coming through, carving in. It is about 3/4 of an inch thick. So I do have some space that I can actually carve in. But do I want to go bonkers and carve really super deep? No, definitely don't carve too deep, okay? So I'm going to spin it around so I have better access to it, okay? And it's not going to look good right now. We're just working on small details. I'm going to refine it after a little bit. Okay, so where is my image that I'm working off of here? I want some triangle things. Should I do my triangle things in here maybe? Like this. And go kind of like point. Sort of like that. Oh, jeez, look what I just did. Totally just. Long nails are bad, people. They're bad. And I have long nails right now. And, you know, all good. I need something that's going to give me a straight edge. Just like this. Let me see. There we go. Okay, so I don't think I'm gonna start maybe right here. So we're triangles like that. Seems like a lot of work. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do circles because you know what? I have circles. I have circle tools. That's maybe what I'll do. But you know what? My clay is still not very dry. It's pretty darn wet. So I could come through here, and I'm kind of playing right now. So 1, 2, 3. So I could do like lines going up there, which I think might be the route to go. And then I'm just going to put some sort of a texture in here. But I just realized that's really bumpy, guys. Really crazy bumpy. So I want to come through. I want to smooth this up some. I don't want that to be too bumpy. Let's see a little one. Oh, actually, I think I'm going to make this a little rounded. I think that would look cool. And remember, you know, like you're starting with this whole process. Is it going to be exact right now? Nope. because the fine tuning is the thing that you do at the end, okay? And that, my friends, is where it looks really good. Your in process, it's not necessarily going to look awesome right now because you're figuring things out, you're carving, you know, adjusting it is what makes it look cool. If you never go through and adjust it, then you basically just have a piece of clay, you know. So adjust it, modify it, make it look cool in the end, okay? So like you rough carve, we have some bump in there. Okay, there we go. Keep your crumbles off to the side more so. This right here is fine. I'm actually going to put those in, but not right now. All right, so this is going to be raised. This is going to have a bump going down on the one side, and a bump on the other side. That really is low there. I didn't really notice that when you're like looking at it like that. It is a little low. Mask it just a smidge. Okay, there's that. Now I'm going to come through here. I'm going to create another one right here. And you want those lines that you're doing to be thicker than super thin. A lot of you want to do these tiny little pencil lines. Guys, those pencil lines, they don't show up. Like when it comes time to actually like fire it, a lot of your lines disappear. So they do have to be thicker than a pencil line. Okay. That's why I tell you to use tools and stuff. If you're at home, I'm really sorry. Do your best. Go over it a couple times. Notice I'm not one and done. I'm literally going through and I'm carving it in. I'm adjusting. Okay, that's key to sculpting, guys. You've got to like a little bit at a time. If you go whole hog and like carve like a madman, well then if you screw up, well, it's really hard to adjust and fix. So don't take your time and like, so look, I'm liking that. That's looking kind of cool. All right. So then so we got that thick line there, but I don't want that to be a total thick line. I want that to be this line like this again, like on the other side as well. So smooth that up some. This should just be fun for you guys. It really should. If you're not having fun, you might not be doing it right. It's like, this is just, you know, this should be relaxing. It should be, you know, you should get lost in what you're doing, and it's just, you know, it's just nice. So notice I'm tossing all of my little debris off to the side because I don't want to get that on the bottom part, on the bottom of my piece here. Well, it doesn't look that good when you. And I've looked at references of like, what is it, a cougar, leopard, lion. Their noses are all wrinkled up. They're snarling and whatnot. But this isn't an animal one. It's like it's a representative of an animal. It's actually just, you know, it's my version of the Black Panther. I didn't make the Black Panther, but I'm doing my own version of it. It's like, there we go. Okay, we're going there. And then I had a line, and somewhere through here as well, I think. Let's see the lines right there. So I'm going to come to, I want to carve that in. I think I do, because I don't want, yeah, I'm going to put that in and create another dimensional. So I've got a lot of clay there, so I think I could carve in. I added extra clay on there. So see, I see that I carved all of those. I'm getting that right there. Take your time. Make sure that you're getting it relatively even. Oops. At least my clay is at a great stage to where if I screw up, I can just smooth it out with my finger. And that's going to come down to right about here, which I think I already have my line there. I could work on this probably for an hour or two, but unfortunately I have like a half of an hour. That's how much time I have for my planning period once I get everything graded. So that being said, you know, this video is only going to be a half an hour long. No, it's not. I'm going to pause it. I don't really want it to even be a half an hour long. I want it to be shorter than that so you guys don't watch it if it's too long. You could always turn it on and just, you know, have it playing in the background while you are working on the project. Look up and say, oh, that's what she's doing there. Like, oh, I could do that too. Make the project look a million times better. You know, just saying. Okay, that's looking cool. All right, and then I gotta see what's the side thing right here. I feel like, oh yeah, okay, we got this line right here. So this comes down. I actually have this one still. I think I'm going to make this part right here stick out further than the bottom part, maybe. Here. Here. So it almost looks like he's sort of wearing a mask on top of that, but he's really not. Okay, so then it actually goes up onto the nose. Maybe I will go and do this as well. I already have the little lines and stuff there, so what the heck, right? Oops, in the same direction. Here. This face isn't completely symmetrical. It is what it is. Okay. And then it comes kind of straight down and then it stops. This right here. That. It's close. Nose. Oops, I think I screwed up on the nose a little bit. I think the nose needs to go up. Actually, his nose is a little big on this side. I might have to adjust that. We'll see. Close enough. Closer. Okay. All right. So there's that. I've got that line there. And then I got this thingy bobber right here. I got that one. And then I think something goes like this. How does that go? I adjusted his chin so much. I'm going to shave a little bit of this off here because it's a little too big right there. So I'm going to shave some of that off. You just have to come through here. This goes this. Goes down. Goes around. chin thing needs to be over just a tiny bit from there. So, you know, sometimes it's a lot of doing it, redoing it, adjusting it. Here. And how's that? That goes like right there too. So that's still there too, which is great. There we go. Okay, so my bits and pieces are put back in. All right, so here's the overall for now, okay? I'm going through and I'm working on the fine tuning of the details. It does need to dry a little bit more. I'm going to continue to play with it until the end of this, until the end of my planning period. And then I will turn it back on and show you where I'm at. But for now, I'm going to pause and continue. Okay, so I've come through. I'm doing additional carvings on the side. I haven't gotten to this side yet. I will take some progress photos. This is probably going to be 2 videos long because it takes time, and well, I'm trying not to rush. So, and I have another class coming in. So have a good one, guys. Part 2 coming up next.